Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, I have a lot of videos to share with you guys today of disturbing videos of police brutality that are taking place or is taking place in Los Angeles. Not good. And I also have one funny video to share with you guys proving that Fear News Network viewers have absolutely no clue what is going on in California. They just, they're seeing these images and they're so freaked out. They have no idea that it's just like this tiny little area with hardly anybody involved. But before I get into all of this and share these videos with you, if you appreciate this free content, please do me a favor, hit the subscribe button below this video. It is free, really, really helps. So I appreciate it. So here's what's happening with these ICE raids in Los Angeles and the protests that are popping up throughout the country. More and more videos are being shared of the police assaulting and shooting people with rubber bullets for absolutely no reason. So take a look at this first video, and then I'll explain what exactly happened here, especially for people on the podcast who can't see what's going down. Take a look.
They're telling her to move, but that's a public sidewalk. They're telling her to move. Watch, if they shoot her. Holy fuck. Come here. Come here. Sit down. Sit down. Sit down. Where'd it get you? Really, fuck off. She's not doing anything. Come on. We're moving, assholes. Ooh, you got it. Hang on. I just need to get out of their sight. Here. I got some supplies in my bag. Sit down. They shot her. Yeah. Point blank. I literally just got it on video. They're gonna shoot. We're moving! We're moving! Stop! She's injured! Come on. We gotta get across the street. Come on. We gotta go across the street. Where are you going?
I live here.
Okay.
I live here. I live here.
Come on.
So, for those on the podcast, that video was recorded by someone standing across the street, and you see a young woman approach officers. She is completely alone. She doesn't have a weapon. In fact, doesn't appear to be carrying anything at all. And apparently, she was asking them, I need to get down this street because she's trying to get back home. She's trying to get back to her apartment, and they were blocking her street. All these cops were, lined across the crosswalk and had the street blocked off, and they just kept yelling at her, telling her, you need to leave, you need to turn around, you need to get out of here. And when she just stood there, she's like, I really couldn't tell because it was kind of far away, but I don't know, maybe 15 feet away or something. And they shoot her in the leg with a rubber bullet, and she was wearing shorts. So that can seriously do very, very big damage. I mean, I told you the other day about a reporter who got shot in the leg. He had pants on and he had to have surgery. So the LAPD is just vicious. It is filled with vicious assholes. I've mentioned this before. I've dealt with them. They're just, yeah, the majority. I will, there's a few good apples in that bunch, but the majority are the rotten apples. So this is nothing new for LAPD. It's still infuriating though. And this next video, there is no sound. So for those on the podcast, The video didn't drop. You're not going to hear anything for a minute or so. But I believe the reason there's no sound because I think is because this video was captured by a drone. But as you guys are going to see, there's a man. He is down on the ground already, and the police are hitting him with the batons. They're kicking at him. They're trying to get their horses to trample him. So some of these officers are on horseback and they're trying to get their horses to trample over on top of this man. Take a look. So obviously, these cops are just completely out of control. They have no sense of decency. This is insane, right? I mean, this guy would have a very good case for a lawsuit. Speaking of which, this next video is of a woman. She is in the hospital as she's filming this, and she's going to show her massive bruises all over her body and explain how she was completely brutalized by the police and their horses as well. Check this one out.
Thankfully, the people who were around took some videos and everything, which is going to be a huge help. I just kind of want to give you guys an update. No, I'm not going red again just yet. That's blood in my hair. I have some, what do they call it, something hematomas with like blood clotting like on my brain, and it's like putting pressure on my brain too. I've had staples in my head, bruise, bruise, bruise. I did not provoke them. Like, they just did that. Like, from our right to protest and protest against these crimes of humanity. You know, they're shooting tear gas canisters at us. They were yesterday too, and that's a war crime. But they're shooting them at our heads. But watch the video of me getting trampled. You'll see, like, they did that on purpose. Like,
So again, I mean, another massive lawsuit just waiting, right? A big, huge payday coming for that woman. And it pisses me off that these police don't have to personally pay for these types of lawsuits. We, as taxpayers, are going to end up footing the bill. We're going to pay for her pain and suffering because the LAPD insists on hiring sociopaths. In this next video, you guys are going to see there are 7 officers who attack one single man who, according to the person who posted this video, this is a member of the press. I don't know how true that is, but he does look like he has camera gear with him and everything. So, you know, who knows if he's like a citizen journalist or what the case is, but 7 cops attack this one guy. So, and you're going to see they take away his camera equipment, throw some of it on the ground. Check this out. Again, you know, completely unhinged. And why? Why does it take 7 officers to take down one small man? I mean, this guy is not a big guy. He's like a very slender guy. This next video was posted by a man who's supposedly an attorney, and he wrote on Twitter that this officer that you're going to see shot him in the groin multiple times. And apparently, according to this attorney or whoever this is who posted it, this same cop was shooting other people in the groin as well and at close range. Oh my God, I can speak at close range. So could completely change someone's life and cause a total medical issue here that would, you know, damage them for life. Take a look at this interaction.
What's your badge number?
I'm giving you warning.
No, warning about what? I'm asking you a question. What's gonna hurt? What's gonna hurt?
There's 40 millimeters.
Why are you gonna shoot a fucking 40 millimeter to someone 3 feet away who's asking your badge number? What am I doing? Huh? 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 Go ahead. What is it? I'm behind glass.
What is your name and badge number?
You work for us, bitch. What is your badge number?
What is your name and serial
I'm
number?
behind glass. What is your badge
What is your
number?
name and serial number?
Why'd you rip the name off your helmet?
One more time. What is your
What's your badge number? Hey, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. What's your badge number?
That's okay. I'm gonna pull up you right now because you're taking up my focus.
I'm telling you guys, the lawsuits are just going to pile up. We saw this with the BLM protests. We saw, New York got hit with a massive lawsuit. LAPD got hit. Other states got hit with big lawsuits and ended up having to pay protesters large sums of money because of their incompetence and their cruelty and just how they get so out of control. And the LAPD needs to put a shock collar on guys like this. These guys are out of control. If you can't handle simple questions like that, if you can't control your emotions and just ignore someone who's berating you and questioning you, you definitely should not be carrying a weapon. You cannot be trusted to carry a weapon. This next guy claims that LAPD were up on top of rooftops, up on top of big buildings, shooting down at the protesters. So take a look at this video.
Do not listen to what the people are saying. LA is not a fucking war zone right now. I am in the heart of the protest right now. And things have been so peaceful ever since we moved away from the police officers. There was about 2 hours straight of the police officers shooting down from the rooftops of buildings like these. Anyone who's saying that these protests are violent is not here. They are not here. What's violent about this? What's violent?
Now, obviously, he didn't share video of the cops shooting down at them, so I don't know for a fact that this guy is telling the truth. But if he is, clearly those officers are not in any danger, right? They're not down there amongst the mob. They're up on top of a building, but yet they're playing target practice with peaceful protesters. And I want to be fair here, so let me say this. There have been incidences of violence. I've shared that with you guys. I've shared how they called for the Waymo cars and set them on fire. There was a guy or two guys that were recently arrested for throwing Molotov cocktails at the police. And, here's the thing. When you're in a large crowd, you may not know what someone else is doing on the opposite side of the protest. And I bring this up because this is what happened on January 6th at the U.S. Capitol. People who were further back in the crowd, people who maybe were just there peacefully protesting, they couldn't understand why the police were deploying tear gas or pepper balls or rubber bullets into the crowd because they couldn't see that their fellow protesters were getting violent and that they were physically assaulting officers. So then the people further back were reacting with anger and they were retaliating because of a perceived, police brutality. That could be the case in some of these instances and in some of what's going on in LA. Having said that, as you guys have seen in these videos, the police are out of control. They are the aggressors in a lot of these cases. I've yet to see a single January 6th video where the police were the aggressors and got violent with the January 6th protesters first. Have not seen it. And I've seen hours and hours of footage. As you guys know, I covered all of those cases from beginning to end. I also want to share, and there was a video made by a young woman. She is adorable. She prefaced this video that I'm going to share with you with the fact that her grandmother apparently lives in another state. She lives here in California. She lives in downtown LA. Her grandmother called her, and apparently her grandmother watches nothing but Fear News Network 24/7. She's got Fox on. And so the grandmother calls and says, "Oh my God, aren't you terrified? I'm so afraid for you with what's going on in Los Angeles, blah, blah, blah." So she goes out and she records what really is going on in LA. For the most part, it's just peaceful protesters and people chanting and singing and giving speeches and whatnot. So take a look at this.
This is what's going on in LA. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. I got snacks. Sometimes police in LA are overwhelmed. We gotta send in the Marines. Send in the Marines. Meanwhile, the police in LA. Pokemon Go playing motherfuckers got their McDonald's delivered. They're fine.
So she cracks me up. Pokemon Go motherfuckers. I love her. And as I mentioned on Tuesday, the protests are spreading. They are spreading to many other states, and other snowflake Republicans are calling in the National Guard. Protests barely have begun in Texas. I heard that there was a couple hundred people out there. Nothing being broken, zero reports of violence, zero reports of vandalism. And yet, Texas Governor Greg Abbott has already deployed the National Guard in his state. Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say, given how his Texas officers completely failed and allowed little school children to be massacred while they were standing outside high-fiving, I guess you wouldn't have much faith in them. That's about the only answer I can come up with. And here's where the polling stands on all of this. The Washington Post surveyed 1,000 U.S. residents. They did this by text. And they said that the majority of Democrats and independents disagree with Trump's use of the military in this situation. So it's mostly Trump's insecure fascist base with, the ones with daddy issues that like how he's handling this. They need someone to protect them. So when the Washington Post asked, do you support or oppose Trump sending the National Guard and Marines to respond to the LA protests, 41% said they support it, 44% oppose, and 15% said, I'm not sure. As for how the police are handling the situation, 31% of respondents said that they're using too much force. So that was a plurality. 26% said they're not using enough force. That wasn't a plurality. The plurality was the 43% that said, yeah, they're using about the right amount of force. When it comes to Trump's signature issues of immigration and, deportations and all that, that is where the tide has really turned against him. So in this same poll, only 37% approve of Trump's handling of immigration and deportations. 52% said they disapprove, and 12% must be in a coma because they said, oh, I'm not sure. And then check this out. 90% of Kamala Harris voters disapprove, which, that's to be expected. But even 12% of people who voted for Donald Trump in 2024 disapprove. So as we all keep saying, Trump does not have this quote unquote overwhelming mandate that he thinks he has. And he really better tread lightly because, his fascism, his authoritarianism, not going over well. And it is negatively impacting the Republican Party, as I mentioned in another video that you guys need to go check out about special elections that were held this week. So he better just watch his step because people are turning on him and his own base, not libs and not even, left leaning independents, but even his own voters. So, anyway, guys, I will let you know if I hear any more or when I hear more about all this. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, and subscribe. Please donate if you can. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.